In November of 1900, the city of River Falls experienced electricity for the first time as the downtown lights along Main Street were illuminated. This year marks the 125th anniversary of public power in River Falls, which is one of several essential services that River Falls Municipal Utilities provides to residents. Kevin Westhuis is the utility director for the city and joins this episode of the Kinni Cast to talk about the benefits and the value of public power. He also discusses the challenging job of RFMU's line workers, talks about the nearly completed biosolids dryer building, and also shares about his passion for broadcasting high school sports right here in River Falls. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Kinni Cast. My name is Tyler Mason. I'm the communications coordinator here for the city of River Falls, and today's guest on the podcast is no stranger to microphones. You may recognize his voice from the broadcasting that he does for some of the local sports here in town. I'm joined by Kevin Westhuis, the utility director for the city of River Falls. Kevin, how are you doing today?
Great. How are you? Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know I've listened to a couple of your Kinni Casts already, and the bar has been set pretty high, so we'll see what happens today.
All right. Well, yeah, I think we'll continue to hopefully raise the bar. But yeah, like I said, we've got someone who knows his way around a microphone here. We'll maybe talk about that in a little bit, but I kind of want to jump into some of the work you do here and kind of what that all means for the city and the residents here. Let's start with you. How did you end up in local government and maybe more specifically in the utility field?
Sure. I'd like to get into that, but I was going to just quip a little bit and say, hey, Kevin has never met a microphone he didn't love. So here we are today.
Hey, you found another one.
I found another one today. So yeah, how did I end up in local government and the utilities was the question. And, I was thinking back, my Uncle Andy, when I was out of college, and he says, you know what, Kevin, you should get into the utility business. Those jobs are never going away. And I didn't even really know what he was talking about, but the delivery of electricity, water, sewer, he said, those jobs are going to be around forever. And if you want a stable career, get into the utilities. So I did get hired by Wisconsin Power and Light Utilities and was working there as a design engineer for electric and natural gas at the time.
Okay.
And then I got a job in Fort Collins, Colorado. As a design engineer and project manager there and worked there. We were in Colorado for 23 years.
Okay.
Out of the 23 years, I did have a short stint as a realtor as well, which taught me some great...
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, some great private business experience, customer service experience, and that's a whole nother podcast, by the way. But that little stint taught me a lot, and I was able to carry over into the utility world as well. So that's what I got. Uncle Andy. I'm going to blame Uncle Andy for that. He said you should get into the utility business, and it's been a great career.
And you joined the city here in 2013, so coming back home to Wisconsin, I'm sure that was that nice to, you've been in Colorado for quite a while.
I did. We were in Colorado for 23 years. My wife is from Chicago, and I'm from Waupun, southeast Wisconsin. And living in Colorado for 23 years, it was unusual because we always said, we're going back home every time we visited. And I said at like year 17, 18, why do we keep saying we're going home? Why isn't Colorado home? That was a wonderful place to live. It is as advertised.
Right.
No humidity, 300 days of sunshine, the Rocky Mountains, bright blue sky, all of that is true. The Midwest was always home to us.
Sure.
And one day we said, hey, maybe we'll move back someday when the kids get, out of high school and through college. But the criteria is this. We want a small Midwest town with a university in the town close to an international airport.
There you go.
And I had a connection in southern Wisconsin about this job that came open, and he let me know about it. I applied, and Scott Simpson had me. How about that?
There you go.
So there we go.
Yeah.
And it checked all the boxes. And we were just talking the other day, my wife and I, there hasn't been one day of regret of moving to River Falls, Wisconsin. It's been some of the best years of our lives.
Yeah, well, that's awesome to hear. Well, like I said, we're going to be talking about 125 years of public power in River Falls in just a little bit, but maybe let's kind of first set the table more broadly on municipal utilities. River Falls Municipal Utilities is the provider here for residents in town. What does that term municipal utilities mean, and maybe how does it compare to other private utility companies?
Sure. Municipal utilities, again, we just say that, we hear that. A lot of people don't know what that means. That is really a special thing. There are just over 2,000 municipal electric utilities in the country right now. It's kind of a unique thing. It's owned and operated by the community it serves.
Right.
So unlike investor-owned utility, which is responsible to shareholders, we're responsible to the citizens it serves. We're governed by local boards, commissions, and the city council,
Right.
Who are elected by the people. The electric utility gives about $500,000 a year back to the community's general fund in payment in lieu of taxes. The water utility does the same thing. So municipal is a unique brand because we're really able to have local people with local control, making local decisions, reflecting local community values. It's all done right here in your community.
All local. Yeah.
All local. And that local community effort has been here for 125 years and working very successfully.
Yeah.
So that's how it's different.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's like you said 125 years for electric. I think 130 years for water.
For
We
water,
celebrated last year,
yes.
131 now, but we celebrated that anniversary last year.
Correct. So the municipal model works. Local people who are really invested in what they do, serving the people in the communities where they live.
Right.
So no, it's a model that is proven, it works, and it's still working here today.
Yeah, and you mentioned the number of municipal utilities nationwide. Do you know off the top of your head how many in Wisconsin? I know we're
it's like 80. I think it's like 85.
Okay.
So we're part of WPPI Energy.
Yep.
They're our wholesale energy provider. 51 communities have come together to allow WPPI Energy to be the wholesale energy provider for our community and 51 communities in the state. But I believe there's about 85 munis, some that aren't a member of WPPI.
Okay, sure.
So, municipal electric utilities, that is.
Gotcha. RFMU, or River Falls Municipal Utilities, is comprised of several departments. We talked about electric, water, wastewater, sewer. I guess for you, what does a day in the life of utility director look like as you manage those different departments?
Well, for a person that can't stay focused, it's a perfect job because no 2 days really end up looking the same.
Sure.
Today I had to get out early today and deliver CDL drug testing. So that's just a process they have. They're not allowed to tell anybody about that. So they give it to the utility director to make the surprise visits. It's always funny because when they hear the heels clicking down the hall out at Public Works, they know something's coming. So anyway, had 3 of those to deliver today. So that's atypical. That's quarterly, but every day is different. What utility director? What do I do? I'm in communication, right? I'm as a leader, kind of like a coach, right? I have to know all my leaders, I use too many sports analogies, but like a head football coach, you've got an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, you got that next level below you. I've got my direct reports right below me. They know the game plan, then they're able to get it down to the people below them, and hopefully that trickles all the way down into all of our people. I oversee about 35 people from the electric department, water department, wastewater, sewer, and public works that I'm also now in charge of. So about 35 people. So a lot of it is coaching, getting people on the same page, meetings constantly with people. Oversee regulations with the DNR, me see other Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, Public Service Commission, the EPA, dealing with those folks, making sure we're in compliance all the time, budgeting, payroll, expenditures, so those types of things. Yeah. But I would say really, if you think of a head coach of a football team, I think that's my role. And you have to know about all of it, but then you have experts below you who know more than you do, who you really trust, and develop those relationships.
Right.
And making sure that everybody on your team is proud to wear the uniform and will run through walls for you in the end.
And like you said, every day something could happen. Power could go
out,
outage. And those are I know those are big thing that kind of gets sprung upon you that maybe upends your day or a couple
That's
days.
A good one, Tyler. So when the social media aspect, if there's a power outage and you see the communications online from River Falls Municipal Utilities, that's me. So nobody knows that. So it could be in the middle of the night. I've done it on vacation already. So I'm always in communication with the people that are handling the outage. So I know what's going on. Sometimes they send me pictures. But that's typically me who's communicating with the public and giving them almost a play-by-play.
Yeah, letting them know what to expect, how long it might take.
Yeah, what's happened, what's happening now.
Right.
Why is it taking so long? So I think on that one too, we talked about setting the bar, right? I think we're setting the bar pretty high on that. People almost get a play-by-play of what's going on with an outage compared to even like 10 years ago when you would just call in and wait. Not anymore. Now they know.
Right, and we've got the outage map on the website and all that good
All
stuff.
that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll do a live video, like on site, like what's going on here at this outage. So anyway, that's usually me on communicating with that. So that's just another thing your utility director does as well.
And fun little fact on the outage part, is it about 40% of the time it's squirrel related?
Yeah,
30 to
50% of the time it's a squirrel. And we have squirrel guards on all of our equipment, but them little buggers can find a way around.
Pesky.
And they're pesky. And they get around squirrel guards and squirrel protectors. And yeah, you don't want to be grounded and touch a hotline at the same time and put people out of power. Yeah. We usually know when someone calls in, we heard a loud bang. Well, probably a squirrel.
Well, speaking of electricity, as we mentioned earlier, it's 125 years of electricity in River Falls this year. After it was the first things that were electrocuted or electrified, I should say, were the streetlights downtown. That was, I think, November of 1900. When you look at the evolution of public power and what that's meant for a city like River Falls, what comes to mind?
It's taken us from a second world country to a first world country. The average lifespan of a human being in 1900 was 48 years old. Today it's about 78. So I'm going to take credit, not personally, but the electric industry, we put 30 years on the lifespan in like 100 years. It's amazing what electricity has done. It's allowed for lighting and appliances. You know, there's a big one, refrigeration, keeping food cold. A lot of people died of just bad food.
Sure.
Clean water, water pumps and water sanitation, sewer sanitation and pumps, medicine, technologies, all that stuff that electricity has allowed to happen in our country in a very, very short amount of time. And as I was thinking about this, I'm 60. That's like half of my life almost. I mean, so it's not that old. So in a very short amount of time, in 125 years, we've gone from an average lifespan of 48 years old to now what's 78, and I think a lot of it has to do with the invention of electricity and being able to use it like we do for all of the things that, medicine and technologies, and now we got our phone in our hand. We got the whole world right in the palm of our hand.
Right. So many things we take for granted with electricity that, 125 years ago, people couldn't dream about.
Yeah, no, you had a gas lamp and wood to keep warm, and you had the iceman would come around with an ice block for your refrigeration. The medicine was pretty scarce. I mean, sanitation, sewer, almost non-existent. People died of a lot of things they're not dying from today due to the advent of electricity. So it's a big deal. And actually, I look at our system. It's poles, it's wires, it's underground connectors. I'm amazed it works as well as it does. But the average outage time in River Falls is, I think it's like 16 minutes a year or something like that on the average. So well below the 2-hour per customer average nationally. Yeah. But I look at our system and I'm amazed it works as well as it does. But I'm going to give credit to our team who understands the system. They plan for the future. They're replacing. We have replacement programs. But no, it's really amazing, and it has transformed our world.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the outage time, and just recently we had a storm that knocked my power out for I think 12 hours. And I don't live in River Falls, so I don't have RFMU. I won't name the name, but I have
I bet you have an investor-owned utility.
Maybe. But I mean, that type of outage just doesn't happen in town here. I mean, people aren't going without power for a day.
Not too often. It's amazing that we have these local people that are so invested in what they do. Yeah. They're at home, they get the call, their boots are on, they're here, they're on the ground, we're able to communicate directly. I think it's because of the local aspect, right? Mm-hmm. It's just there's the buy-in. Not investor-owned utilities are great. I mean, I don't want to badmouth them. They're great. They do a great job, but it's a little different when it's your own deal.
Right.
When you're taking care of your own nest.
Yeah. Well, that was one of my questions I wanted to ask is about the line workers at RFMU that literally help keep the lights on here in town. Yeah. What do you want people listening to know about the electric team who's on the ground or up in the bucket trucks and doing those repairs or that sort of thing? What do you want to know about the line workers?
They're all in. They're all in. These guys, we talked about coaching and sports analogies. They are very, very, very proud to wear the River Falls Municipal Utilities uniform. It's their system. They understand that. They've taken ownership in their system. There's pride in that. And when things go wrong, they take it personally. They are totally invested in the River Falls Municipal Electric System. They know every fuse, every transformer, every wire. When there's outages, they take care and caution to make sure the customers are back in power. Safety is number one with those folks. Sometimes customers and the community would like to see them work faster. They're going to work deliberately and safely. It's a very dangerous job. They take it very seriously. They're proud of what they do. They're bought into what they do. And they're going to be taking care of our community without having to prod them too much because it's their deal. Yeah. They're all in.
Yeah. One thing that you and I have talked about, and I think we had something in our newsletter about it, is the value of public power. That's something that we take pride in as well. Can you maybe outline for those listening a bit more about the value of public power and maybe how that impacts the residents here?
Sure. I think, again, because it's local, lower rates, local input in rate making, local stable employment opportunities that we can support local businesses. We can have one-on-one communication with our 100 top largest customers. We have a rotation. We talk to these people. Community sponsorships and engagement through scholarships at the tech schools, high schools, university, giving to other nonprofit organizations in town. We support economic development utilities. We have, like I said earlier, local decision-making, reliable service, fast response times, accessible, friendly customer service. Hey, there's a good one. We're so used to now not being able to talk to somebody. You can walk right on down to City Hall and talk to a human. You can call us. You can come over to my house in town and you can catch me in my yard. People have done that and we can talk. So we can't hide. And that's a great thing. We're just, I think municipal offerings, municipal government, it's like the last bastion of pure government. Totally responsive and accountable to the people we serve. You can come down and talk to me. You can come to my house. You can see me in the grocery store, at a ball game, right? I mean,
any of the events we have.
We're not hiding, and we're accountable to the customers and the ratepayers that we serve. And that's one very, very important thing about municipal.
Yeah. Yeah, if people want to find Kevin, come to the community appreciation event. He's always handing out the plates at the entry, and
I don't miss a customer, Tyler. I hand one to every customer and get to say hello.
1,000 people,
Get to say hello. There's something about that, right? The human interaction of making these relationships. And that's another thing you said, what about your job? It's relationship making. It's having people know us, trust us, and so they want to do business with us.
Right.
So and it takes time. You're not going to do that in a job title, in a year, in 2 years. This takes sometimes a decade, decades. I mean, and we know how fast trust can be lost as well. But I'm continually trying to develop these relationships and gain trust with our community.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's other utility projects that are either in the works or ongoing right now. I know the biosolid dryer building over at the wastewater treatment plant's been a big one. They're currently reconditioning one of the water towers. So there's always something going on. But I'm curious, what excites you most about some of these other projects that RFMU and the team are working on that are kind of setting up River Falls for future success and future growth?
Yeah, this is kind of a personal thing. I like doing what they say can't be done. I think that's a country song. I think that's a Jerry Reeves sings that, I think. But no, I like doing what they say can't be done. On the dryer building, I mean, it was talked about for a long time. We did a lot of analysis. City Administrator Scott Simpson made us do analysis for like 3 years on that. And it finally came to fruition, and it's almost done now. Water tower painting, I mean, that has to be done every 10 years.
Yep.
And all of this is done with the teams of people, good people. I mean, the deep bench, the people that are bought in, the conscientiousness of the people, all the way from customer service to accounting, to the people on the ground, to the operators. This is how this gets done. And everybody has got a vital role to making sure that we succeed in these projects. But I like doing the big projects because I know they're hard. I like them, if I can, make them seem easy. They never are, but that doesn't matter. To the public, we want people to think they seem easy. So, but that is done with competent, good people who are bought into the systems. And I like doing what they say can't be done.
Yeah. And maybe if we want to expand on the biosolid dryer project and what that is for people who are listening who maybe aren't familiar. I know we've put some things out there about what this is and what it'll ultimately mean, but you just kind of want to give a high-level overview of that project and what it'll ultimately mean for the city.
Sure. So I'll just try to give the highest level, quick view I can on it. Every time you run your sink, flush your toilet, take a shower, put anything down your drain, it ends up at our wastewater treatment plant. About 99.8% of what comes into that plant goes back into the river after the water is treated. There is a very small portion of that that cannot be treated that we currently bring to West Central Wisconsin Biosolids in Ellsworth, Wisconsin. We have trucks show up every day and haul out this end byproduct to Ellsworth. Well, we're going to stop the trucking and we're going to take care of that ourselves. We're going to dry it on site and make it into what's called a Class A sludge product. It's like fine powder or dirt. It's basically odorless and it can be applied on lawns, gardens, farm fields. It's a Class A product. So we'll be no more trucking. We're going to handle our own sludge right here, and it'll be into the community, into farm fields, gardens, and whatever in our community.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to go into the building last week, and it's coming along pretty nice and looking good in there. And Bill Swenson over at the wastewater treatment plant brought up the point too, with the trucks. I mean, that area is getting more developed. There's more houses going there, so not have the semis going in addition to saving the city money.
Correct.
Obviously, just not having to worry about that too.
It's a big deal. I mean, it's every day. A giant tanker comes through there,
right? Loads
and then unloads.
Yeah.
So that will not be happening anymore after the first of the year.
That'll be nice.
No, that's a good thing, and we'll be in charge of our own destiny on end product sludge.
Well, a couple left here for you. I alluded at the beginning that people might recognize your voice from some of the sports broadcast work you've done in town. How did you get into that in the first place, and what do you enjoy about calling the games?
So it goes back to 2010 before I moved to River Falls.
Okay.
My son was part of a 4 consecutive state championship baseball team in Fort Collins, Colorado. And my parents lived in Wisconsin. People were just starting to stream video online. The bandwidths were getting big enough. And I knew that was happening. I'm like, I wonder if I can stream these games. And I started streaming his high school baseball games from Rocky Mountain High School in Fort Collins, Colorado. That was very successful. And people were like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this could be done. Live broadcast. And it was kind of like taking off. Like, this is a thing. So I moved here, had the gear, had the knowledge, and I go into the gym at River Falls High School. Russ Blasius and Fred Barr are filming a basketball game, boys varsity basketball game. And I went and introduced myself. And I say, hey, what are you guys doing? You streaming this live? They go, oh no. They said, we tape these and we take it down to Channel 16 studios here, our cable access at City Hall.
Yeah.
We edit them and then put it on cable access for people to see during the week. I'm like, did you ever consider doing live? And they're like, oh, no way. We couldn't do this live. I'm like, well, we should. I said, I'll tell you what. I'll bring the stuff down here. We'll set it up and we'll try it. And they go, all right, let's try it. Well, we tried it. We had a blast with it. And they go, we're not looking back. So this was a start. I think it was the spring of 2013.
Okay.
When we did that here.
So not long after you got here then?
No, it was right. Yeah, it was like a month or so after I got here. About 6 years ago, we went to YouTube. We have a River Falls Sports YouTube channel. It's become popular, about 150 high school sporting events throughout the year.
And it's all different kind of sports that you do?
We do, yeah. Football, volleyball, girls soccer, boys basketball, boys basketball, swimming goes on, wrestling, baseball, the whole thing. And it's a team of about 20 volunteers. This is a 501c3. Nonprofit, nobody gets paid. First National Bank is the main sponsor. They help sponsor for getting equipment, stuff like that. And now because we have so many views, other people want to jump in and be sponsors as well. So I don't make any calls to anybody. They call me. We let them sponsor. It's not very much money, and we use the money to offset costs of equipment and things like that. So I get a lot of joy out of that. It's really a great break from the serious job of utility director where there's a lot of seriousness going on. And you go do that and call a high school sporting event with your friends and interacting with the people online. It's really a fun thing.
Well, last question here, Kevin, is the question I'll ask everyone is, what impact do you hope your work has had on the people of River Falls?
So there's 2 segments. I think the general public and then the employees. First, for the general public, what I hope the utilities bring to this community is stability. I think, reliable, safe, affordable, best value electric and water systems, right? Like, I can't say we're always going to be the cheapest, but we're going to be the best overall value, fastest response times, best communication, there when you need us. So best overall value for water, electric, wastewater. I think clean parks, clean streets, place to drop your yard debris, as I'm in charge of the yard waste drop site as well. And the most challenging one actually is helping get garbage and recycling picked up. I'm also managing the waste management contract, and that's challenging, right? People's expectations for trash and recycling are very, very high. I personally can't do anything about it, but I manage that contract and feel ultimately responsible for that. So that's another thing I'm working closely with them on, developing those relationships to make sure that happens. Yeah. That service is going out to bid here in about a month. So.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So yeah, so stability, I think, really, so people can live, work, and start a business in River Falls and feel certain that they're going to have reliable electricity, safe and affordable, and have the best overall value here. And then for employees, here's what I think about where I want to leave with employees, and I've told them this. I hope they can use this employment to live their best life by being fulfilled, grow, and contribute to our community. I want them to feel like what they do matters. I really want to have them, just like a volunteer. I have got these 20 volunteers showing up because it makes them feel good. What if you can have that same feeling and be employed and get paid for it? That's really what I go for. I want every single employee to understand that their role is vital. There's a lot of different roles. Sports analogy, there's quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and linemen. You know, they get treated differently in the public's eye, but every one of those roles is vital to the success of the whole. So I really aspire to have every single person feel their significance in what they do and feel good about what they do and show up and then use this as a tool to have a great life. So that's my goal for my people.
Bringing it full circle with another sports analogy. I like it.
Yeah, there it is. I have too many, and some people that aren't into sports will throw a cold bucket of water on that. But to me, it's very, very similar, right? It's team effort, right? And I always think like a kicker in sports. They don't even practice with the team sometimes, but they put the uniform on. They're proud to wear the uniform, and then the whole thing revolves around them making a 37-yard field goal. Right?
No pressure.
The pressure. But so they're vital.
Right.
They don't make one tackle. They don't even get dirty. They might not even shower. But they're vital to the success of the whole. Just like our utility and our organization here. Some people are more active and more transparent than others, but every single person employed here is vital to the success of the whole.
I love it. That's a great place to stop and to wrap this up, Kevin. I appreciate the time, and it's been fun working with you over the last year plus since I started, and looking forward to doing more together. So thanks for hopping on another microphone.
Well, yeah, right, exactly. Well, thank you for inviting me, and it's a pleasure, and hope somebody maybe get a kernel out of this and learn more about our community and why municipal is great for River Falls.
Absolutely. Well, thanks everyone for listening to this episode of the Kinni Cast with Kevin Westhuis, our Utility Director here at the City of River Falls. If you don't already subscribe, and we're still just a few episodes in, but it really would help if you subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can find it at rfcity.org as well, really wherever you get your podcasts. So be sure to tune in, tell your neighbors about it, and help spread the word about the work that we're doing here at City Hall and beyond to make River Falls a great place to live. So again, thanks to Kevin, and thanks to all of you out in River Falls for listening.
Good night, everyone.